So here's a quick look at our studio. It's kind of a mess right now. But up here we have the Tulip paintings. These are some of the iterations that we were doing initially and trying to figure out the process. And basically it's a generative art process, meaning there's an algorithm that we use to generate a bunch of pictures, and then we pick the pictures that look most like tulips or like flowers. So here's some of the early ones that we kind of tried back in the early days of experimenting. And then we came upon a process to print this one, which is pretty cool. Now this is in the frame that there's a computer in it that runs this LED display, which connects to a web server and it gets pricing information. And then there's LEDs mounted in the frame that change color according to a bunch of different parameters that we can kind of play with. Right now it's just running a simple color changing algorithm to kind of show what the different colors look like as it cycles through. So yeah, it's a pretty cool process. We figured out a lot of interesting things with it. There's more stuff we have to figure out. We have a larger frame over here. This right here is the Viceroy, the smaller frame, and then the big one is the Semper Augustus, which we haven't actually figured out how to print that size one yet. But in this one, we're gonna be doing a living wall installation. So we're just repurposing this frame to hook up a bunch of plants. Oh, here over at my desk, you can see it's a peristatic motor that pumps liquid. So we have that with a bunch of sensors and all types of electronics to do this installation for these little succulents over here. So here's some succulents we're growing in the window, just kind of testing things out. And we have them in these terrariums, and the terrariums are gonna have soil moisture sensors inside them, some other electronics. Here's a bunch more. Just trying to keep the plants alive, which is sort of difficult because you're kind of learning how to keep them in these tiny little ecosystems and get enough air and water and all sorts of things. But so anyways, those go in this big frame over here, and we're gonna have the same LED display, and there's lights around the top of it that'll turn on for each individual plant. It's all gonna be connected to a live streaming web service where the people on the internet can basically use crypto to water plants, turn on the light for the plants, give them air through some fans, things like that. So kind of a interesting experiment in a decentralized garden. But yeah, and the game plan is to have a show in LA. Right now we're looking at 2-Bit Circus sometime early next year, I'm guessing. We're gonna have a bunch of these paintings on display along with our living wall. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a process. We're getting there, figuring out some of the things we need to get right in order for the exhibition to go off.